Hello, my name is Ganapathy. I'm a quality manager. I used to use Skype for Business, but I now use GoToWebinar. For more video reviews like these, please click on the link below. It is no surprise that since COVID-19 began, everyone has begun using online webinar services like Zoom, GoToWebinar, or Skype for Business, and more recently MS Teams to conduct business transactions and conversations that previously happened face to face. The same goes for me with Skype for Business that I used to use as opposed to GoToWebinar, which I currently use. I've found, however, that GoToWebinar has more features and functionalities that put it one step ahead of Skype for Business. GoToWebinar is best known for its simplicity of the screen layout. There was a time when I used GoToWebinar for the same time many months ago, and I had never used it before, and a colleague of mine invited me to a business conference using GoToWebinar. I needed absolutely no orientation or training at all to where the icons on the screens were laid out. It was so simple, it was almost like playing a child's game on a tablet or an iPad or what have you. One of the best features in Skype for Business that I miss just a little now is the group chat feature that they used to have when we did have business conferences on Skype for Business. It enabled individuals who were part of the conference or the meeting to have silent conversations via chat between themselves while the main presenter was speaking without disturbing the overall audience. The first step for GoToWebinar or Skype for Business for most individuals using a desktop or a laptop PC or even a mobile device would be clicking on a hyperlink that then takes you to the main conference itself. The distinguishing feature, however, between GoToWebinar and Skype for Business is the accessibility of a local number that you can easily get to and dial. GoToWebinar has simplified that process a lot more than Skype for Business has, and that has caused more delays in individuals who don't have access to a mobile device but only a cell phone service to call into Skype for Business calls, whereas they don't tend to have that issue too much or hardly at all with GoToWebinar. The number one consideration I have when I look for softwares like Skype for Business or GoToWebinar is how well known they are in the general audience, especially colleagues and individuals who haven't used them before, and the accessibility of local dial-in numbers, as I've mentioned. GoToWebinar, when I first used it, I had absolutely no orientation and introduction to it, but I was easily able to access local phone numbers and share them with other colleagues of mine who needed to be on that same business conference on GoToWebinar, but didn't have access to a desktop or laptop PC on a network. The same cannot be said for Skype for Business, not to mention Skype for Business has now been taken over as Microsoft Teams. So it's certainly a lot more old world than GoToWebinar. GoToWebinar has transcended that test of time and it still stands strong among its peers.